What skills can lorry drivers bring to micro-private equity? Micro-private equity, once the niche playground of accountants in soft loafers and ex-consultants armed with frameworks, graphs, and a strange fondness for bullet-pointed PowerPoints, has recently become far more democratic. The rise of small business acquisitions, think buying the local window cleaning franchise rather than a FTSE 100 conglomerate, has opened the field to new entrants with unconventional backgrounds. Among these, perhaps surprisingly, are lorry drivers. Yes, the very people who coax 40-ton vehicles around mini roundabouts designed by sadists, reverse into impossibly tight bays while being stared at by an audience of pensioners, and navigate the ongoing psychological thriller known as finding somewhere to park overnight. And so the question emerges, in bold and unapologetic form, what skills can lorry drivers bring to micro-private equity? As it turns out, quite a lot. In fact, lorry drivers may be some of the best equipped candidates for running, optimizing, and scaling the very small businesses that define the modern landscape of micro-private equity. This essay explores that idea thoroughly, using British English, a touch of humor, and at least 2,500 words of enthusiastic advocacy for the fine men and women of the open road. 1. Introduction, where logistics meet ledger sheets. Micro-private equity, MPE, focuses on buying and improving small companies, usually those valued between £50,000 and £3 million. These businesses are often operationally messy, a bit worn around the edges, and very much in need of someone practical to roll up their sleeves and provide direction. This is where lorry drivers have a surprising advantage. Most lorry drivers, far from the stereotype of simply sitting and steering deal daily with complex logistics, time-sensitive deliveries, multi-party coordination, customer service, mechanical problem-solving, and crisis management on wheels. They follow strict regulations, meet deadlines, adapt routes, handle paperwork, manage fatigue, navigate across multiple environments, and deal with human personalities ranging from warehouse managers to traffic officers. In other words, they operate real-world systems under pressure, something many aspiring entrepreneurs only experience on theoretical spreadsheets or during the mild panic attack that occurs when Excel crashes. This essay explores the parallel competencies between lorry driving and micro-private equity, demonstrating why those who've spent years behind the wheel may be uniquely suited for buying, improving, and running small businesses. 2. The art of situational awareness, seeing the bigger picture. Lorry drivers possess exceptional situational awareness, an extremely valuable skill when acquiring or managing a business. When piloting a vehicle big enough to be listed as a geographical feature on certain maps, a driver must predict hazards before they develop, judge distances accurately, manage blind spots, anticipate how others will behave, react to sudden obstacles, see the operational environment as a whole, not just one component. This multi-layered awareness directly translates to the world of micro-private equity. 2.1 Due diligence, spotting problems before they hit the windscreen. Where an inexperienced buyer might only look at revenue, profit margins, and staff costs, a lorry driver sees beyond the numbers. Years of predicting whether an approaching motorist is about to do something daft trains them to examine the deeper dynamics. Is that revenue stable or swerving dangerously? Is the seller slowing down because there's something hidden behind the bend? Is this business about to take a sudden left turn? Lorry drivers understand that the world rarely behaves perfectly, and so they approach purchases with realistic eyes, not rose-tinted ones. 2.2 Operational efficiency, the route optimization mindset. Driving for a living is an exercise in continuous optimization. Every day involves adjusting routes, managing time, balancing efficiency with safety, and ensuring the cargo arrives on time. In MPE, this skill becomes gold dust. The newly acquired micro-business often needs improvements in workflow, staff allocation, supply chains, customer scheduling, inventory management, daily operations. Drivers are already accustomed to tweaking systems for efficiency because inefficiency on the road usually results in missed delivery windows, unhappy clients, extended shifts, a cold dinner waiting at home. Thus, they naturally look for ways to streamline a business, just as they would streamline a delivery route. 3. Compliance and regulation, masters of the rulebook. Let's be honest, few professions are as heavily governed as lorry driving. Between tachographs, driver's hours, vehicle checks, weight limits, load security, safety procedures, environmental standards, and documentation requirements, drivers navigate a labyrinth of rules daily. By contrast, the average micro-business owner is often one missing spreadsheet away from administrative chaos. 3.1 Micro-private equity firms need compliance-savvy operators. Compliance is essential in small business acquisition. Employment law, tax rules, health and safety, data protection, licensing, insurance obligations. Lorry drivers are already conditioned to follow detailed rules. They know how to work within constraints and keep operations legal. They also know when something looks dodgy, a crucial instinct when negotiating purchase agreements or evaluating company practices. 3.2 Documentation discipline. A driver who forgets paperwork can face fines, delays, or being stuck in a lay-by waiting for authorization. This breeds meticulousness. In MPE, robust documentation skills help with recording financial data, tracking KPIs, standardizing processes, audits, staff onboarding. Lorry drivers often outperform typical first-time business owners in paperwork discipline because their livelihood has long depended on it. 4. Customer service on wheels, people skills under pressure. There is a misconception that lorry drivers spend all day alone. In reality, they regularly interact with dispatchers, forklift drivers, warehouse supervisors, shop managers, security guards, traffic officers, other road users, some friendly, some not. They must remain professional even when exhausted or running late. 4.1 Micro businesses are people businesses. Customer service in MPE is vital. Most micro businesses succeed only if the owner maintains relationships with clients, suppliers, staff, local authorities, community members. Lorry drivers are already proficient in dialogue, negotiation, patience, and diplomacy. They've calmed angry warehouse staff, negotiated with gatehouse security, and maintained politeness even when accused of being late again. If you can stay cheerful while reversing a full Arctic between two badly parked vans while someone yells left. Left. No, your other left, then managing a small team of employees becomes remarkably manageable. 5. Problem solving under pressure, crisis management in motion. Every lorry driver has faced at least one unexpected crisis. A flat tire at 3 a.m. A sat-nav directing them into fields. A bridge too low for the trailer. A load shifting dangerously. A broken tail lift. a road closure with no diversion, an impatient car driver trying to overtake on a bend. These situations require fast thinking and practical solutions. 5.1 Micro private equity rewards resilience. Once you buy a small business, challenges appear relentlessly. Equipment breaks. Employees resign. Customers complain. Cash flow dips. Technology fails. Projects go off-road. Most aspiring entrepreneurs panic at the first sign of trouble. Lorry drivers. They simply take a breath, assess the situation, and find a way forward, much like choosing whether to brave that unsuitable for HGVs road when there's no alternative route for 10 miles. 5.2 Resourcefulness and improvisation. Drivers are experts in quick fixes, adapting plans, making judgment calls, using limited tools. They are the type who can secure a load using only a bungee cord, a ratchet strap, and pure determination. This resourcefulness translates brilliantly into running small businesses with constrained budgets. 6. Independence and self-management. Many lorry drivers work long shifts with minimal supervision. They are trusted to manage their time, vehicle, schedule, rest periods, route decisions, client interactions. This independence is one of the strongest indicators of success in micro private equity, where owners often must operate without guidance or structure. 6.1 The ability to stay motivated without constant oversight. Drivers are used to self-starting and self-finishing tasks. They don't need a boss monitoring them. They simply do the job. Owning a small business requires exactly this sort of inner discipline. No one else will make decisions for you. 6.2 Self-reliance builds entrepreneurial confidence. If you can park an articulated lorry in a crowded city center loading bay, you can handle negotiating with a stubborn supplier or navigating the bureaucracy of business ownership. 7. Emotional resilience, thick skin required. Lorry drivers experience a range of emotional challenges. Isolation, pressure to meet deadlines, logistical failures, poor driving by others, criticism from clients, weather extremes, sleep disruption. This builds emotional resilience. Micro private equity demands the same. Buying a business involves risk, stress, difficult conversations, letting staff go, revamping processes, facing resistance to change. Drivers who've mastered staying calm during chaos are much better equipped than a spreadsheet-trained accountant experiencing their first ever argument with a customer. 8. Negotiation and assertiveness, everyday skills behind the wheel. Drivers negotiate constantly, even if not explicitly. Securing loading slots, managing tight delivery windows, handling disputes, getting help at busy depots, communicating with other road users, advocating for fair treatment. They learn to be assertive without tipping into aggression, an ideal balance for negotiating business acquisitions. 8.1 Negotiating the purchase of a business is surprisingly similar to negotiating a delivery slot. Both involve asserting your position, staying calm, understanding the other side's pressures, being flexible but firm, identifying hidden constraints, avoiding being taken advantage of. A lorry driver is often perfectly suited for negotiations because they've already honed these skills in high-pressure, real-world contexts. 9. Systems thinking. Running a business is like running a supply chain. A lorry driver understands Inputs, outputs, constraints, dependencies, bottlenecks, time management. This mirrors business operations. Micro-business owners must ensure customers come in, work gets done, money flows through predictably, systems remain stable. A driver's understanding of logistics directly applies to scheduling, process improvement, managing staff workloads, pricing, inventory control, delivery processes. In many ways, running a small business is a miniaturized version of running a logistics system. 10 Mechanical mindset, fixing problems before they get expensive. Drivers often have basic mechanical skills. They know when something sounds wrong, something smells wrong, something feels wrong, something is about to break, something is costing too much. This practical instinct is incredibly valuable when acquiring and improving a small business, where equipment failures or inefficiencies can eat profits. Most first-time entrepreneurs have no practical sense at all. They treat equipment as mysterious objects. Drivers treat machinery with respect and understanding. 11 Real-world leadership, informal but powerful. Though many drivers work independently, they still lead when required. Mentoring new drivers, coordinating with warehouse teams, managing subcontractors, supporting colleagues, taking control during emergencies. Contrary to popular belief, leadership isn't about titles, it's about influence. Drivers have real-world, hands-on leadership abilities that translate directly into supervising a small team. 12 Financial discipline, experience living within constraints. Many lorry drivers are accustomed to managing tight personal budgets, tracking expenses on the job, and maximizing earnings. This translates naturally to business ownership. They understand the value of cash flow, the cost of inefficiencies, the importance of planning ahead, the difference between needs and wants. In micro-private equity, financial discipline matters much more than financial theory. 13 Humility and practicality, the anti-consultant advantage. Micro-business employees often dislike being lectured by over-educated outsiders who have never done real work. A lorry driver, however, understands the value of labor, respects frontline workers, communicates simply, avoids unnecessary jargon, fixes problems rather than discussing them on whiteboards. Staff are far more willing to follow a leader who has done hard work themselves. 14 Geographic knowledge, understanding local economies. Drivers often know industrial estates, trading estates, commercial districts, rural businesses, local suppliers, regional business patterns. This insight helps identify acquisition targets and understand a business's local ecosystem, something most would-be investors lack. 15 Why lorry drivers make exceptional micro-private equity owners. When you assemble the full skill set, discipline, resilience, logistics acumen, people skills, decision-making, compliance knowledge, practical intelligence, and a realistic world view, it becomes obvious. Lorry drivers possess nearly all the core competencies needed to evaluate, acquire, and improve small businesses. They bring practicality over theory, grit over PowerPoint, real-world negotiation over boardroom strategy, adaptability over rigidity, humor during crisis. Many small businesses are understaffed, chaotic, operationally messy, and reliant on owners who are overwhelmed. A lorry driver stepping into this environment often feels oddly at home. After all, if you've survived a week of multi-drop deliveries around Birmingham's road network, running a small manufacturing firm probably feels like a restful spa retreat. 16. Humor and humanity, the soft skills that drive success. Lorry drivers often have excellent humor, it's practically a survival mechanism. When the job throws something ridiculous at them, laughter keeps them sane. This is priceless when running a business. You will face unpredictable staff, odd customer requests, problems that shouldn't exist, equipment that fails on Fridays, surprising accounting discoveries. A sense of humor helps maintain morale, reduce stress, and keep perspective. And staff respond well to a leader who can laugh when appropriate. 17. Conclusion, the open road to ownership. Lorry drivers bring a rich combination of skills that align perfectly with the demands of micro-private equity. Operational discipline, crisis management, practical problem solving, compliance awareness, people skills, toughness and resilience, leadership through action, financial practicality, systems thinking, independence, route optimization thinking, mechanical savvy, local business awareness, humility and humor. They may not realize it, but years behind the wheel have trained them for exactly the sort of real-world leadership and operational expertise that small businesses desperately need. Where some see only drivers, micro-private equity sees potential owners. And perhaps one day, when someone asks who's taking over the local equipment hire firm, the answer might be, "Oh, that's Dave, the bloke who used to deliver pallets to us. Cracking chap. Runs the place brilliantly."